You're in your living room when the emergency alert hits your phone. The sound is different this time, sharper. Then your neighbor starts screaming. You've got maybe 60 seconds before you need to make the first decision that determines whether you see tomorrow. Most people get it wrong in the first 10 minutes, and by hour 12, the house that felt like safety becomes the thing that kills them. So, let's break down the first 24 hours, minute by minute, and figure out if your home is a fortress or a tomb. Quick note, this is a fictional scenario for entertainment, not real survival advice. Here is what makes your home different from every other survival location. You know it in the dark. You know which floorboard creaks where the spare batteries are, which window sticks when you try to open it. That is your edge, but it is also filled with distractions, with comfort items that make you want to stay when you should be thinking 3 moves ahead. The first hour is about information and reality. The mistake most people make is treating this like a storm where you wait it out. It is not. It is the start of something that doesn't have an end date. The emergency broadcast is still looping when you hear glass breaking 2 houses down. Your phone is at 62% battery. Your doors are locked, but the back door is that cheap contractor. Grade hollow core that wouldn't stop a determined teenager. You've got a kitchen full of food that'll spoil in 3 days if the power cuts. The car is in the driveway with a quarter tank, and you have no idea if your family members across town are safe, stuck, or gone. That uncertainty is the thing that breaks people faster than hunger. The smart play in the first 30 minutes is perception, not action. You're trying to figure out the scale. Is this your street, your zip code? Are we talking about a local event or the whole grid going dark? You move to a second-floor window with a sightline down the block. What you see tells you everything. If there are distant sirens, that is structure still holding. If there is smoke from multiple directions and 0 engine noise, the responders are already overwhelmed or gone. If your neighbor's porch light is still on, power is live. If it flickers and dies while you watch, you just got your timeline. Let's say the power stays on, but the screaming gets closer. You've got one neighbor whose front door is wide open, and you can see movement inside that doesn't look right. Shambling, jerky. The kind of movement that makes your brain scream wrong before you even process why. This is the moment where most people make the fatal mistake. They go outside to help. They call out. They walk into the street because their brain hasn't accepted that the rules changed 5 minutes ago. The survivor instinct isn't aggression. It is stillness. It is watching from cover while your heart tries to break through your ribs. Hour 2 is when your home starts to show its weaknesses. You hear something at the side gate, a neighbor, panicked, pounding on doors down the block. Then you hear them trip, shout, and the shout gets cut off in a way that makes your stomach drop. The infected don't announce themselves. They just appear in doorways, around corners, faster than you think something that uncoordinated should move. You realize your yard isn't fenced all the way around. There is a gap by the AC unit. Your brain starts doing math you've never had to do before. Angles, sightlines, how long it takes to cross 20 feet of lawn. Now you're in the kitchen trying to think clearly. The fridge hum is the only normal sound left. You start pulling things onto the counter. Canned goods, boxed pasta. The half-empty gallon of water you've been meaning to refill. It feels silly and apocalyptic at the same time. You're also noticing things you never thought about. The kitchen window faces the street. Anyone or anything walking by can see directly in. The blinds are up because you like the light. You pull them down and the room dims into something that feels like hiding. Here is what nobody tells you about the first 12 hours. It is boring in a terrible way. You're on high alert. Adrenaline spiked, but nothing is happening directly to you yet. You're listening to chaos at a distance. A car alarm goes off and runs for 40 minutes straight until it doesn't. You hear a helicopter, low and fast, then nothing. Your phone still works, but the group chat with your friends goes from frantic to silent. The last message is from your coworker. Staying put, doors locked. It timestamps at 11:47 a.m. It is 3 p.m. now, and she hasn't read any replies. Let me paint you a picture. It is hour 14. You're sitting on the floor in the upstairs hallway, back against the wall, because it is the only spot in the house with no windows. You've got a flashlight, your phone, a kitchen knife that feels ridiculous in your hand. You haven't eaten since breakfast because your appetite vanished the second you saw someone stumbling through your neighbor's yard with a bite on their neck the size of a fist. You're thinking about your sister who lives 40 minutes away. You're thinking about whether the truck in the driveway has enough gas to get there. You're thinking about whether leaving is rescue or suicide. The power cuts at hour 16. No flicker warning. Just everything goes dead at once. The fridge stops humming, and the silence is so complete you can hear your own pulse. Your phone is down to 18%. You've been doom scrolling without realizing it. Watching the same videos loop, shaky footage of streets, conflicting reports. People arguing in comment sections about whether this is real. It is real. The smell coming from outside is proof, smoke, and something else, something organic and wrong. Hour 18 is when your home stops feeling like shelter and starts feeling like a container. You've checked every lock 3 times, the front door, the back door, the garage side entrance that you never use and honestly forgot existed until 20 minutes ago. The windows are locked, but they're single pane and old. You do the math. If something wants in badly enough, glass breaks easy and loud, you'd hear it. You'd have maybe 10 seconds. Your bedroom is upstairs. The kitchen knives are downstairs. That gap suddenly feels like a mile. The worst part of the first 24 hours isn't the danger you see. It is the danger you imagine. Every creak is a footstep. Every rustle outside is something testing your fence. You're playing a game where the rules keep changing and nobody told you how to win, only how to lose. The mistake that gets people killed early isn't lack of supplies or poor planning. It is panic decisions. It is throwing open the door at hour 20 because you can't stand the not knowing anymore. It is going to check on that noise in the backyard because your brain is still wired for normal problems. By hour 24, you've made it through day 1. The sun is starting to come back up, and that should feel like victory, but it doesn't. It feels like exposure. You can see your street now in the gray pre-dawn light, and it looks like a movie set. Cars abandoned mid-road, a shopping cart on its side, someone's front door hanging open, and you know they're not coming back to close it. You're alive. But your phone is at 4% and you've got no new information. The water still runs from the tap, but you have no idea for how long. The house still stands, but you're starting to understand that standing still isn't the same as surviving. So what is the verdict for the first 24 hours? Your home score is about a 6 out of 10 short term. It is solid. You've got walls, locks, familiarity, and probably enough food and water to get through the week if you're smart. Medium term, maybe 3 or 4 days in, it drops to a 4 out of 10. You're stationary. Your supplies have a countdown clock, and every neighbor who didn't make it is now a problem shambling around your cul-de-sac. Long term, your home isn't built for this. It is built for comfort, not siege. The best move in this scenario isn't about fortification or fighting. It is about information and timing. What matters is staying aware without becoming paralyzed. It is knowing that day 1 is about making it to day 2 with your wits intact, your doors still locked, and your options still open. The survivor's advantage isn't the biggest weapon or the most supplies. It is the ability to adapt when the situation changes, which it will faster than you think. So here is the question: would you stay in your home or would you move at first light? Drop your answer in the comments and tell me why. If you want to see whether you'd survive better in an apartment building, a grocery store, or out on the highway, hit that subscribe button because we're breaking down every scenario. And if this one kept you on edge, wait until you see what happens when you're stuck in a subway tunnel at rush hour with nowhere to run. Stay sharp.